back everyone, Elegant Mess. Today we're going to be doing an install guide for the Gelid Solutions Speed Touch 6 fan controller. This is a 6-channel fan controller, 30 watts per channel, so you can connect quite a bit of things to each individual channel depending. I've got 9 fans in the case, and each fan, they're the Phanteks Enthoo Primo fans that came with the case, and then I've got a couple other ones, 4 more specifically, and they're all rated under 2 watts each. Now, to get the actual wattage of your fans, just take the current that they run at, go to whoever's website. For me, just go to Phantek's website, get the amps if it's not listed right on the fan itself, and multiply that by the 12 volts for the fan, and that'll give you the amount of power that each of the fans is going to take. So I'm hooking up 9 fans, and then the water pump as well. Now, as you can tell, it's pretty loud. To me, it doesn't bother me due to the fact that I wear a headset, and I just don't really hear it. But for the times that I'm not, or I'm just watching a movie or browsing the web, whatever, it is a little loud. So, again, it doesn't really bother me personally, but it's about time I go ahead and install a fan controller and get this set up properly. It is a beautiful case. It's the Phanteks Enthoo Primo full tower case. It looks really nice. I'll go ahead and give us a little overview of how it looks and where everything's going to go. And we'll go ahead and get started with the install. So, give you a better look at the case here. Said it's a full tower case, so it's a larger case. I did get some extensions and 2-to-1 fan connectors as well. This is the Frozen Q reservoir with the blown glass helix in it. You can see where the pump is right down in the bottom. And as you can tell from how close we are to it, it is quite loud. So the controller is going to be going right in the front bay, right underneath the CD drive. And yeah, that's a look at the case. As far as the fans, I've got 4 fans on the radiator, 2 top, 2 bottom, and push-pull, 1 in the back, 2 in the very bottom of the case, and then 2 more up front with LEDs and the pump itself. So we're going to go ahead and get the system shut down up on the table and open her up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we've got our case up, and I've got the front panel and side panel, or both side panels off. I'm going to give you a look here. It's the Intel DZ77GA70K motherboard with an Intel i7 3770K overclocked. I run a 24/7 overclock at 4.5 gigahertz. It's the XSPC Raystorm water block, as well as the 240 millimeter XSPC radiator, the EK-D5 Vario speed pump, which, now thinking about it, I'm worried about undervolting the pump for the startup. I'm not sure if there's a voltage regulation on that, doing that there's the fact that there's a speed control already on the pump itself. I'm going to go ahead and not connect that to the fan controller, because I can already adjust the speed myself as I like it. It would be nice to be able to do it on the fly, right on the fan controller, but before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and do a little more research just to make sure I'm not going to have any problems on startup with it being undervolted and not starting. The pump's rated for 8 volts to 24 volts, I believe, and the max wattage is, I believe, 24. I'm not sure if that's nominal or peak. So if that's nominal, I'm guessing the peak voltage is going to be around 28, which is pushing it close for the 30 watts for a single channel. So like I said, for the time being, I'm just going to go ahead and not hook that up to the controller. But again, that's not really what's causing all the noise, it's all the fans. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the fans disconnected and start with the cable management, and then we'll go ahead with the actual install of the unit. Okay, so we're back about an hour later after getting all the cables done and getting all the fans out of the old cable management, redoing the cable management with all the fan connectors out. So I've gone ahead and removed the front bays
out of the case. I just removed all of them to make it a little bit easier. I am going to space it one down just to have a little better access to the cable connectors on the back of the unit. So I'll show you how I did the cable management here. So main power for the drives, front panel, 24 pin obviously, all the side connectors. These ones here are all for the fan. All these ones coming out the top of the fan, and then just these two at the bottom. So all in all, it's pretty neat for as much as I've got in there. It's about as neat as I'm going to get it. It's kind of a pain, but so here's the bottom two fans, and then the other two is 4, 6, 8, and last one is 9. So I'm going to go ahead and I will fit this, like I said, in the second slot, and right on the side there's a double stack of holes, so I'll go ahead and screw those in on each side. Keep in mind that if you do have toolless drives, if you can see that, to go ahead and remove the toolless drive cap where you're going to be installing it, so you can get the screws in on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and I may even take the fan connectors and actually connect them to the headers on here, and then slide it into place so it's not so hard trying to reach in and connect each one of them. You know what, I'll probably just go ahead and connect the power, the fan connectors, and the excuse me, the thermal pads on these, and get all the temp sensors connected, fan headers, and Molex. Yeah, get those all connected, and then actually slide it and screw it into place. That way I don't have to try screwing around trying to get those connected with it in there. So I'll go ahead and get those all plugged in and screwed into the drive bay, and we'll go from there. Okay, welcome back. So a little FYI, I just had a case of the Thinks as I was doing this. Instead of using the original cables that came with them at all, the extensions that I bought were long enough to reach without any problem. So I went ahead and connected all the extensions to the cables, tied them all together, and then pulled them through so they are long enough to come out the front. And then, as you can see here, each of the two that come together, just go ahead and label them, like rear, bottom red, front, top of the red, and bottom of the case. So those are all labeled up, and then I'll just go ahead and write down, you know, which ones are going to go where. So I know, looking at the front of the controller, what sets of fans are going to be controlling which ones. This way I'm not trying to figure out later on. Just go ahead and mark them as I plug them in, knowing which ones are going to be which. And so I'll go ahead, get those plugged in, and from there I'll just go ahead and get the unit itself screwed in place once those are connected. So this is what we're looking at as far as connections. As you can see, these are going to be the temp sensors. I just ran those straight in all the way towards the front. Our 4-pin Molex, which is running right out the rear of the case. And then, just as I have them listed here, the top right is going to be number 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 is how they are listed. So number 5, going from the top right to the left, is going to be the single rear fan, but I did double connect. I put one of the double fan connectors, so I still have one open one on this line for another fan, or possibly I could do the LEDs on the side. So that's 5. Number 4 is going to be the bottom 2, and then number 3 is the front 2 fans here, and then number 2 I've got for the bottom of the radiator, which is this one. This is why I labeled them as such. So you just match the little notches on it, right up to the connector. Hopefully you can get a good angle here. And just slips right on. And then the last one should be the top of the radiator, which it is. Now this one is a little bit shorter, just from the cables from the fans themselves, not the extension. Which is why I set this up like this. So we can just slide this in a little bit and connect our last one. And I'll just tilt this back, slide it into place. And that gives me just enough room to still be able to pull this out. If I ever need to connect anything or disconnect something, I can still get to it with those extensions like that. So this is what it's going to look like when it's set up. So I'll go ahead and get the 2 screws put in on either side, plug everything in, and we'll go through the setup. Okay, so this is our first boot up, and everything seems to be functioning properly. I haven't gone through and tested any of the speed controls, automatic, whatnot, for the actual fans themselves, but thus far it seems to be working, and everything is on. It seems all the fans are at their normal full speed since I haven't adjusted anything. So this is the system without the side panel on. Hit the lights here. Give you a good idea what this looks like. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. Very happy with how this system is turning out. So, from here, I'm going to go through and figure out the actual settings and controls for the unit. And the temperature probes I have yet to put in place, but they are there and plugged in. As you can see, it is giving a reading for the temperatures of 69 degrees Fahrenheit. And they're just in the undercarriage where the hard drive bays are. So they're not actually taped to anything just yet. I just want to make sure I can get everything working properly first. And once I figure out the controls on this, we can continue from there. Alright, welcome back everyone. This is actually day 2. Wound up getting a little late, so I called it a night. Had to work in the morning, so I went ahead and got acquainted with the controller and how everything works. Before we actually go over the controls, I'll go ahead and I'm going to turn all the fans back up to full, what they were in the beginning, which you may have heard, and just give you a little comparison of the before and after the controller, just to give you an idea of what a difference it really does make. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get this started up, readjust the fans, and we can compare the two, and then I'll go over the controls. Okay, so as you can hear from now, this is the system as it initially was, with the fans all the way on full. Now again, there's 9 fans in my system, so it's quite a few. There's 2 on the top of the radiator, 2 on the bottom of the radiator, which makes 4. 2 in the bottom of the case makes 6. The 2 in the bottom front of the case, which makes 8, plus the rear. So 9 fans plus the pump. Now the pump, again, I didn't hook up just due to concerns with the voltage on it. I just haven't checked on that to make sure that it is fine. But again, there is a speed adjustment on it, so it's not really necessary anyways. I've got it at a pretty good setting where I like it now. So yeah, I'll just stay quiet for a second and kind of hear what the system sounds like. It is pretty loud. So this is before, and this is after. So quite a bit of a difference. It's definitely a lot quieter. So I'm very happy with the unit. It definitely makes quite a bit of a difference, as you can tell. And as far as controls are quite easy. Going over the panel here. Let me move this up for you. The top button is the power button. The bottom is the lock on the left side, obviously, and the bottom left corner is the brightness. Next to that is the automatic and manual buttons. You have your RPM, the temperature for the sensors, minus symbol to turn the RPMs down, plus symbol to turn them up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to determine which fan you are on. So for the manual mode that's lit up now, to adjust them, just press the little lock button in the center here until it blinks, and you can go ahead and select which fan you would like to control. The 6th channel is open at this point, so it'll read 0 RPMs all the way across the board. But like, say the 5th fan, we want to, you just select whichever fan you would like to adjust. So we've got it on the 4th, so we can just go ahead and turn it all the way up. And you can immediately hear a difference in the RPMs. So we'll go ahead and adjust this back down. I have them all right around 1,000 RPMs. Seems to be a pretty good setting in regards to the audible level and the temperatures. It actually seems like I get better temperatures with the fans lower, which may seem weird, but due to the actual turbulence of all the fans going, it may just be a little too much. The 4 fans that I have in the top for the radiator are in push-pull, but still with all the other fans, I mean, it can get to be quite a lot. But I still get quite a really good airflow in the case for the size of it. It is a very large case. And that should wrap it up.
Alright, well thanks everyone for watching. That is our install and overview of the Gelid SpeedTouch 6 fan controller. Thus far I seem to be very happy with the unit. Easy installation. The only thing that really took time was the cable management, and that's just my own OCD. And I was able to clean up quite a bit of the cables in the back, taking out any of the extra 4-pin Molexes that I didn't need, and just went ahead and did another once over of the cable management, keeping everything nice and neat and clean. The back of the case obviously doesn't really matter too much, that's more personal preference, but the way that this case is set up with the power supply in the back, it helps to keep everything nice and neat and clean. So yeah, all the temps are good. The noise is definitely a lot better with the fan controller, so I'm very happy with it. Thank you again everyone for watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, as usual, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Any new subscribers, always welcome and appreciated, and please feel free to let me know what you guys think. Thanks again for watching.